This is Tanise.
And this is Josie.
From the Ladies Building Legacies podcast.
And you're now listening to
The Film Blerds
on the New Pod City Podcast Network.
Get your films on with the Blerds.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blerds.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, and welcome to a special episode, or special, it's not even a full episode, a special whatever you want to call it, of the Film Blerds. I'm Jeff Stewart, and I'm joined here with my co-host.
I'm Brandon Norwood.
All right, and so we were gonna take a week off, another week off. We were gonna come back to you with next week with a fresh, all new episode, but we felt it was only right for us to say something about the passing of Sidney Poitier. A lot of people say GOAT, they throw it around on like everything, but like Sidney Poitier truly was the GOAT. He was the greatest of all time. So yeah, we're just gonna riff and talk about his life, our favorite movies or whatnot for a second. Just remember the man's life, because I mean, him, like Dorothy Dandridge, Hattie McDaniel, they opened doors for black people in cinema. And in no small small way, they're kind of responsible for us being here now today talking shit on movies.
First and foremost, besides him being a trailblazing actor, he was like a trailblazing social activist. Many of the rights that we have today probably wouldn't be possible because of Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, I mean, like all around, he was like the best of us. I'm not talking like best of us as in like black people. I mean, just like as a person, the best of us.
Besides him being a great social activist, he was a great actor. The two movies that come to my mind when I think about Sidney Poitier are In the Heat of the Night and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. That's probably two of my favorite movies of all time.
And like those are fantastic movies. Like you also, did you mention To Sir with Love? Yeah, no, like To Sir with Love, and the also A Patch of Blue, which is one of my favorite Sidney Poitier movies. He kind of like he sort of had the market cornered on saving white people movies. Like he would go in and just like tell these, like To Sir with Love, he just went in the British school and just taught those motherfuckers how to be real people. And the same thing with A Patch of Blue.
Well, yeah. I like In the Heat of the Night and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner because those definitely pushed buttons when they came out, and that was him like sunning white people. Like he slapped the shit out of a white dude, like a plantation owner in the Heat of the Night. There's the iconic, they call me Mr. Tibbs, because back in the day, it was not a sign of respect to call somebody, a black person, by their last name with Mr. in front of it. So for him to be like, yo, they call me Mr. Tibbs, and then later in the movie, like 15 minutes later, he smacks the shit out of a plantation owner. That shit's all hilarious to me.
Not only was he a great he was a social activist, trailblazing actor, he was also a director, and he directed 4 of my favorite movies of all time. Let's Do It Again, A Piece of the Action, Uptown Saturday Night. I've always wanted to remake those with Denzel Washington. So Denzel, if you listen to this, holla at your boy. I got a plan for you. But also he directed, and no one talks about this. He directed one of Richard Pryor's, like, not even arguably his best movie. I think one of his best movies, Stir Crazy. You know, people don't talk about that shit. Like, he was a director, and like he had comedy fucking chops too. Like, he did all this serious acting and stuff like that. But the man knew comedy as well. I mean, he directed Richard Pryor. He directed Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, he's in another movie that's very underrated called A Warm December. It's a romantic love story that's almost shot and edited, and the first part of it is almost like a thriller before it settles into the groove of a love story.
Right. And like, can't forget the Defiant Ones. Like, the dude is like forever just changing the game. You know, no one talks about the Defiant Ones, but like, you know how many times they've remade that movie or done movies in that vein?
Yeah, because Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was remade. It was a shit remake, but I mean, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was very, very much one of the first movies to show interracial relationship, and then having that interracial marriage be accepted by the white parents.
Right. And in the Heat of the Night, I mean, that they turned that to a TV show that lasted how many seasons? 10 seasons, some
like
shit
20,
like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
but that was
like,
more based on Rod Steiger's character than it was Sidney Poitier's.
Right, but I mean, still though, yeah.
But Tibbs did get sequels, and Sidney did star in the sequels.
Right. Like, I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and the last movie, like, he retired in acting, I guess, from acting in 2001.
I mean, the latest I've seen his work was Sneakers. That was the Robert Redford, Dan Aykroyd. That cast is stacked.
Right.
David
I gotta
Strahan is in there.
I got to go back to Sneakers, you know, because I remember always being lukewarm on that movie, but maybe with being separated from it and having some time away from it, maybe it's aged well.
Okay, well, I'll let you decide that.
Yeah, I always remember, like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But maybe, you know.
But man, there's another person gone, which sucks. He was 94. So, I mean, at that point, I probably want to go myself.
Right. Like, he didn't owe us anything, you know? He lived his life. He lived his life greater and more, you know, fulfilled than most of us. So, I mean, it's sad to see him go, but like, his time, he came here he did what he came here to do. You know, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I mean, I got nothing else to say other than Homeboy's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, here's to the GOAT, you know, the greatest of all time. Here's to Sidney Poitier. We just want to say, yo, rest in power, and thank you. Thank you for helping us move the needle a little bit.
We're the Film Blerds. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blerds podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFire XL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.